Everybody, in this video, we are going to be bringing you and talking about some of the most expensive reptiles that you can expect to see at St. Louis NARBC Reptile Show, which is not this weekend, but the next. So that should be pretty fun. I've got a couple of them right here, and we'll tell you the price in a minute. But before we do that, not everything is the most expensive snake in the world. This is our first time vending in St. Louis. So actually, we want to meet you guys. We want to get some Super Dwarfs in your hands, answer all your questions in person. And so we're offering a special to all of you guys that are going to be at that show. If you pre-order anything from us, we'll bring it to the show for you so you don't have to pay any shipping. But we'll give you 10% off. And that's everything, Jeremy. That's like
even
everything in inventory. You buy a $10,000 snake, you get $1,000 off.
$1,000. What if I buy? What if I buy a $15,000 snake?
You can do the math on that one.
Okay.
So at any rate, yeah, anything that you buy, we'll give you 10% off. Hello. This snake is going to poop down the back of my neck. My snake poop senses are tingling.
I don't.
And then if you don't like it, when you get there, if you see something better or whatever you didn't know existed, we'll swap it out for you. No problems whatsoever. So kind of a cool sale just to open up a new city to Super Dwarfs. And you know what's funny? There's actually a lot of really cool Super Dwarfs in St. Louis with some of our friends already.
Awesome.
But we've never been there in an official capacity. So we would love to come meet you, talk to you in person, bring me all your Super Dwarf questions. Come check them out. I'll have adults so you can see what size ranges you're looking at on some of the stuff. A lot of the coolest new morphs, some of the most expensive snakes that will be there, no doubt. And a lot of cool people. So we'd love to see you there.
Excellent.
This is not one that's for sale.
Oh, okay.
This is actually one of my holdbacks, and she's pretty special. She's a visual anery carompa. So while these two dwarf and super dwarfs just hatched this year, this snake's going to be 2 years old in March. This is the smallest kind of super dwarf, and we're actually going to name her later on the show. So that'd be cool. If she wasn't going to unload all over me, today was feeding day. They've all got lumps. Look at some of these beautiful snakes, though. Hold on. Let me
see that.
Check this out. This is the one that you guys are going to name. So hang around till the end of the show. This is the Anery Carompa. Oops.
Very nice.
There's an Anery Orange Glow Motley or a Motley Snow Glow. There is a Piebald Super Tiger Super Dwarf. First time this year. Look at the eyes on that sucker. I don't know if you guys, how well you can see
black.
That. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Black
All white
eyes.
snake, black eyes like
Amazing.
that.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
I'm excited.
Stay tuned. We'll tell you the prices on some of these guys and get into a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, what do we got for today, Jeremy?
Today, we were talking about not only that sale, but the most expensive snakes we are bringing. But before we do that, we want to talk a little bit about Ship Your Reptiles and how, with shipping coming up in the holidays, it can be tough, so no one has your back like Ship Your Reptiles whenever, you do run into those busy seasons. You do, some unexpected things do happen. Happy to have someone like Ship Your Reptiles on our side. Yep,
they brought us this episode, and it's funny, a lot of the other shipping companies and stuff like that, they wait till Ship Your Reptiles says if it's okay to ship or not.
Crazy.
And then copy paste the banners up and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, because they're kind of the OG in the reptile shipping.
That's right.
They know what they're doing, and that's definitely what you want. I'll tell you, not only is it crazy with temperature, like here in Pittsburgh, it was snowing yesterday morning when we were looking at like who are we going to ship.
Yeah.
And it's not too bad if we're shipping like cold to cold, but if we're shipping somewhere hot, it gets kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the weather to deal with. You've got the holidays now coming up to deal with.
Yeah.
So increased number of packages. And right now, both UPS and FedEx have a decreased number of planes in commission. Did you hear about what happened last week?
I did hear about what happened last week.
Did you guys hear about what happened at UPS last week? That was insane. Are you able to pull a video up on that? That would be cool.
Yeah, we got a video. Here's what happened last week.
I can't believe this is real.
Shout out to the Associated Press for getting that footage on their channel. But
so this is a UPS plane. This one
Crazy.
thankfully didn't have any reptiles on it, most likely because it was going to Honolulu. But as that plane took off, one of its engines literally fell off.
Yeah.
And then the plane went down. It was a fatal crash. Really crazy thing that happened. The plane went down, I think, a couple miles away from the actual like facility where it took off from. And that was last week, UPS. So all of our packages were delayed. And this kind of stuff is absolutely insane. We had 3 packages kind of like hopelessly delayed and lost. During horrible weather, up to 3 days. And I, if I'm just being perfectly honest with you guys, we had our first ever DOA, dead on arrival. So obviously we made that right with that customer, but I'll tell you, I'm not sure the other 2 would have made it through without Ship Your Reptiles. Right. You know what I mean? Trying to move heaven and earth and all that kind of stuff. So the customer service and connections there that's why we go with them. We've always shipped with them, and but that was nuts. So anyway, I heard UPS has a bunch of planes out of commission now, as does FedEx. They're kind of like checking everything over just in time for the holidays, which has got to be insane logistically. So just be very, very careful out there right now, guys, shipping reptiles. And if you are going to ship at any time during a challenging time of year, or when, obviously that's not a predictable circumstance, but it is predictable around the holidays and with weather all over the place in different parts of the country this time of year. I would highly encourage you that you go with somebody that has the ability to like watch your back, watch your packages, make sure they get there safely.
Yeah.
So crazy.
After that, do you have a trip planned with Freedom Breeder? I think you do.
Oh yeah, this will be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So if those of you guys, if you know, there's a podcast called Searchable as Reptiles. Yes, that's literally the name of it. It's a off topic, not about reptiles generally. There's like, it's like reptile light. It's reptile adjacent conversations. Yeah. Between myself and Brian Cusco. And we're actually going to be traveling out to Freedom Breeder. They're kind of the OG when it comes to inventing like reptile racks. I don't remember when they did it. Was it like the early 90s, I believe? Could have been even older than that, honestly. It was probably older, and then they've evolved over time. But maybe it was anyway, I don't know the time frame on it. But we're going to be talking to Julie Johnson. She's been on our channel before. They've got some cool stuff going on there. The reptile industry has evolved over the years. We're evolving our usage of some of the products that we have from Freedom Breeder, and the structure of the company is evolved. There's a lot of kind of cool stuff, and they're very, very cool people. If you've ever met the crew from Freedom Breeder, the Johnson family. And so Julie is the founder, is Lindy Johnson. Julie is his daughter. And she's, she's going to be jumping into the podcast with their office manager with us and having some reptile adjacent conversations. Yeah. So you guys will have to check that out. We're going to be doing that early December, and it'll probably be released during the month of December at some point. That's kind of Brian Cusco's territory, not mine. So look at this snake, though. Holy smokes. This snake is like, so super tiger pieds have the really, really high white. This guy has got the palest, like lemony head. Yeah. Black eyes. He's got one spot on his neck and one spot on his butt. You know what? It's like the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right?
Right.
Unless you warp time and space, and then the 2 dots. Sorry, bud. I'm just
touch each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a little Einstein theory for you guys today. But yeah, we'll be going up there. That'll be pretty cool. So I'm excited about it. That's after St. Louis. So
yeah, St. Louis. Speaking of that sale, I can get 10% off of that snake right there. Is that for sale?
You theoretically could get 10% off of this snake, and then you'd make a liar out of me, and this would not be the most expensive snake going to NARBC because he would be gone. But yeah, this is one of the very first, like the Super Dwarf Piebalds were only hatched this year for the first time. I'll say to my knowledge, which is like, I've kind of been paying attention. So there's a lot of cool stuff. I saw somebody in the comments was saying, hey, can we make a Motley Golden Child Pied? That would be great. It's taken me like 10 years and over $100,000 to produce the first ones of these. And so, yeah, adding flavor to it is next on the list. Or you could actually be the one to do that yourself, because you've clearly got and I think that's an awesome direction to take the piebald project. That's like the panda pied, right? Something that they were like never perfectly able to achieve, a all black, all white snake in ball pythons that didn't have like kind of some issues or something, or maybe they have, I don't know. I don't pay that much attention, but the traditional panda pieds had issues, so they have tried other ways. In retics, piebalds, mollies, golden childs, they're all viable, awesome, cool morphs. So I think you'll be able to put them together and have a super interactive, super personable, really incredible animal that would be a lot of fun. I would even tell you, if you're going to go that route, add those 2 codoms, throw some anery in it while you're at it, and make it happen for real, because the Molly GCs are like a dark chocolatey brown black, and the anery Motley GCs are like a blue black. So think Superman's hair in the comic books, right? So that would be really cool to see on an animal with varying white. This one happens to be extremely high white, but that would be super cool. So I mean, this is a whole new thing. I think, the parents of these guys they're like, I don't know, mom is about as big around as a pop can. Dad's a lot smaller. I think the mom is like 8 feet, and they're having their second clutches now. And the dad's like maybe 6.5 or something. So we took a long time to make these because we made them really small first. So if you get into that and then you start with some really small Motley GC stuff, which we can hook you up with too, 10% off if you want to pick them up in St. Louis, right? Then you'll be off to the races and be making carpet python sized, panda pieds.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, for a long time to come. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
So, okay, we kind of titled this the most expensive reptiles at NARBC St. Louis. I'm curious, can we get into some pricing? Will these actually be?
You want to talk about pricing on these or like the reptiles in general?
I think we should start with these and then kind of speculate other reptiles that will.
Okay, cool. So a male super tiger, super dwarf pied right now, this guy, goes for, well, what do you guys think? Drop in the comment section. I'll give you a couple of seconds. So I've got a male. They're new, so they're probably going to be a little more expensive than the females. And the last show we went to was Tinley, and we did sell a female. Which was awesome. So we have a male available, and this guy will be there. I love the little ring around the neck of this guy. Isn't that cute? He's got like a lemon yellow head.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's focusing on that, but he's got like a black ring around. So what do you guys think the first ever super dwarf, super tiger, piebald would cost? What's nice about that is it throws tiger into everything that you make, and with retics in the piebald, adding tiger kind of controls how much white. No tiger at all, you get a very low white snake. With a tiger, you get those more 50-50 ones, tendency towards them. And then with super tigers, you get these really high white ones. So that's kind of cool because it lets you build up or down from there with everything that you're doing. So, yeah. What do you guys think? What do we got? What are the guesses?
Got 15K.
Okay.
7K, 8,000.
Okay.
Another one said 8,000, and then Jason Phillips said cheaper or more expensive than Jeremy, myself.
Cheaper over the time that you've been here for sure.
Oh, okay.
Let me back up. You guys are really bad at economics. Took me over $100,000 invested in 10 years to make. I think we made 2.
Wow, okay.
Nails this year. So we should sell them as a business profitably for $8,000 to $15,000. You guys are rough. Thank you. I appreciate your vote of confidence. This guy is $17,500. A female was $15,000. We sold a tiger pied at Tinley for $15,000. This guy would be $17,500. And then I've got the Motley Orange Glow Snow female. Let's swap it out. I don't want to hold her too much. She's got a big old meal in her belly. Come here, buddy. My time warping piebald. What do you guys think? Am I crazy or are you crazy with prices like that? And then here,
This is going to be the Orange Glow Snow Motley female. What do you guys think one of these costs? I actually have to look this one up. These were hatched for the first time last year. And then we've gone, this year they've actually come down a little bit in price. This one is hard to make because you have to have Indo-Caramel, Albino, and Anery. Those are like allelic, recessives, and Motley all together. So it's a lot of genetics crammed into one snake. Really beautiful results. They've got, especially this girl, she has, being a female too, there's a lot of fun ways you can expand on this project. Look at that bone white head and those freckles. I don't know if that'll focus on there. Can't quite see. Optimistic on your end, says Azara. Yeah. Well, it's a little closer if you get, so what's the discount? 17.5. They buy a Superdorf Pied, one of the first ones ever.
Yeah.
Not a snake you would normally discount.
15,800.
What? For 17.5?
Yeah, I think
10%?
So you take
a zero off. You said 50.
Yeah,
I got you. You're doing all the math.
Yeah.
I was saying what was the discount. I got you. I see where you're coming from. So, yeah, significantly cheaper. In fact, it's almost enough to throw in a nice small Anery Motley Golden Child. So buy your Pied, get your Anery Motley GC, and make your dream snake for free. And then you can put $100,000 into it to make $8,000. Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm trying to find my cheat sheet on this girl. Where's she at? We got too many cool snakes here. What do you guys think? Snow Glow Motley. No fair if you went to Tinley because she was there and she was priced. I think that's where that $15,000 guess came from because that was dead on the money for the Tiger Pied female that we had at Tinley. Come on. What you got?
What? $100,000.
100,000. Now they're being more optimistic in my direction. I like it. So this one, when these ones first hatched last year, males, again, when you get that brand new male, like the piebald, you need that male. You're the first. You're at the forefront of that project. Males only take 18 months to grow up, breed, and get you back your investment. Females take longer, but they also last longer. They're relevant longer than males. So males are like boom or bust. Let's go. I want to really make a go of this thing. Can I have enough creative ideas to breed to this male to create long-term value? And the female is kind of locked up long-term value right out the gate. So last year when these were first made, it was $20,000 for a male, 15 for a female. And this year, I think it was actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't last year. It was like 2 years ago. Might have been 3 years ago they were first made. Okay. I think it was 3 years ago, but we made like one or two. Right. So those first ones are probably almost old enough to breed now. But anyway, these ones have settled down a little bit in price to $10,000 for these. And these breed into all your snow projects and stuff. So this is a cool snake because whereas Pied is a brand new project in and of itself, this ties into probably 80% of the dwarf and super dwarves that are out there could be upgraded as breeders by having a female like this. So anything that's like head Anery, head albino would breed really well into these, especially if you had something like Golden Child so that you could throw them together. So it would be pretty cool.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely. So, these are incredibly expensive reptiles, I would say.
Oh, they are. Yeah. I mean, they're probably not going to be the most expensive at the show.
Probably not.
So like I saw YouTubers talking about $100,000 snakes. Those were holdbacks though. That might be more like my Anery Karrampa girl. Like You're not getting that girl. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that would be like Megan Kelly had an albino anaconda there. And she's like, yeah, for $100,000 I would sell it. Sure. You know what I mean? But otherwise not. Like $15,000, $20,000, that's a chunk of change. And we always really appreciate and respect when customers put that vote of confidence in our animals. But that's not even going to come close to getting like my Anery Karrampa. So you get skewed prices a little bit if they're like, I'm not selling this. You know what I'm saying? That's like, how much is your dog? If I want to come buy your dog, you're probably not going to price it out and give me market value. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Ooh, Azara is saying, if you were going to sell the snake that we're lending to Bob Bledsoe, what would a little Dave cost? So Dave is 68.75% Kalatoa Ultra Ivory Motley Posset Snow. That's probably like a $2,000 snake as a hatchling. As an adult breeder, obviously he's worth a lot more than that. I think he cost, like at the time that he was bred, because he's a mature adult male, he was probably more like $8,500 or something. So, yeah. Pretty fun. But
I guess for anyone who's like, you know, maybe not have that much change, would you ever consider, you know, talking people in another live stream about what they could start doing now, or some like starting and something like that?
Like now live 2025?
Maybe.
So the reality of it, and I realize we're talking about expensive snakes, and that is kind of fun to talk about. Yeah. Like I was saying, guys, most of the snakes we're bringing are going to be like really well-bred pets. You know what I mean? Stuff that like you could breed if you wanted to. They have great genetics, but if they're like single codom, wild type, just visually different looking, really small male retics, those are great Super Dwarf first-time pets. That's what we want to bring to St. Louis. Gotcha. So that like everybody can enjoy a Super Dwarf. It's fun to look at the creme de la creme and stuff like that. And a lot of times it gets normalized because you see them in everybody's videos and everybody's Instagrams and all that kind of stuff, just how rare these are. But the personality is why we love them. Yeah. The colors are just a bonus, honestly. And you get all of that personality starting at like $300. Maybe even a little less if you were to get one, you know, on pre-sale or whatever and have us bring it to you. But there's going to be a lot for that. To your question, 2025 is nuts. Raise your hand in the comments if you agree. Like the economy is crazy. It's crazy this year. It's super unpredictable. Markets are up and down. Did you hear that Trump just introduced, I don't know if this is like fake news or whatever, like a 50-year mortgage? By the way, don't go get one of those. That's a terrible idea. A 50-year mortgage, that's insane. With a 30-year mortgage, you pay twice as much as you bought the house for, basically, right? More or less. With a 50-year mortgage, it's like so far beyond that. Wow, you're paying for a lifetime. You'll never have any equity. You'll never get it. You're way better off just to rent at that, you know, than to do that. So, I mean, there are things that, you know, people can do that, you know, in 2025 that they've never been able to do because the market is insane. And it's a very different time to when I started. Reach Out Reptiles actually was founded in 2015. The crazy thing happening back then was that they were trying to make interstate travel illegal with these guys. Like I wouldn't be able to come to St. Louis. That would be literally a federal offense. And USARK were the ones that shot that down. So that was great. And that was a turbulent time in the reticulated python, Burmese python, anaconda industry. And here we are talking about some of the most expensive snakes today, Super Dwarf retics, albino anacondas. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And they were almost like taken away. But having that turbulence is not always a bad thing. It's definitely, I mean, to be quite honest with you, as somebody that like knows and understands and has participated in the snake market, if you want to put it that way. I mean, like, I don't like looking at the snakes like that, like tradable collectibles. So that's not why we do it. But I've been buying and selling snakes at a professional level now for at least 10 years. And then I also had a lot of experience and length before that, you know, working for people that did it and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want in the comments, let us know. We could do like an extended live where I would talk about how to take advantage of the scenario in 2025 so that you can take what is crazy and probably like a really bad year for a lot of us and maybe turn it into a year that was so good that you could launch your future out of it, which is basically what we did in 2015.
that was quite possibly facing like the worst year for this market. And that's when we launched our business. So I would not do the same things today as I did in 2015. But yeah, I have a great idea of what I would do today. These are things that we're implementing in our own business and stuff like that. So if you guys would like to talk about, okay, I don't have $17,000, but I would like to start a side hustle. Well, actually, if you think about it, starting a business, $17,000 is nothing. But we could talk about it at every level. Like, I've got no money and a decent amount of time. I've got lots of money and no time. I want to, make a tidy, quick little low maintenance thing. Or I want to like use this to accelerate retirement funds, or I want, wherever you're coming from.
Right.
I want to experience these as pets. Yeah, we could do that. That would be fun. We should do a live stream about that so that we can talk back and forth. What do you guys think? Would you like to see that? So,
people chat. Yes. When we talk business. Look at that. That's awesome.
Crazy.
Should we get to our...
When is the next Palm Street Live? That's a good question. I've been enjoying Bushveld Reptiles. I know a lot of you guys are wanting to get our house snakes. I've been enjoying their lives, which has been pretty cool. I even was bidding on some of the house snakes on the last one. So ours isn't planned. It's not going to be this week. This week's almost over. Next week, we're going out to St. Louis. Maybe when we come back and recover a little bit, we'll do it then. And then, like I said, shipping is like Reach Out Reptiles. You can buy stuff during the month of December, but for the safety of the animals, we don't ship till after New Year's. So, yeah, we could do that. If you guys want to talk like serious snake economics and what my opinion on what you should actually do, or maybe a better way to put it is, I don't want to give legal business advice or financial advice, but what I would do if I were in your situation in 2025 to either start or take my collection to the next level, especially financially and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
Dennis says $300. What do they look like? How big are they going to get? Dennis, they're one of the most beautiful snakes on the planet. They're a reticulated python. They're what we call a wild type. So every morph is taking something away. They have all of it. It's all there. They're silver, black, gold, and white with rainbow iridescence on them. And we have a variety of bloodlines. So we have animals that are going to stay as small as 7 feet and skinny. So remember, like an 8 foot, we did that comparison, Jeremy. An 8 foot long retic is about the size of a ball python, right? By weight. So a 7 foot long retic is going to be like a medium sized ball python, all the way up to, I think the biggest ones that we would have, in that price range are probably like 10 feet, which would be comparable to a red tail boa in weight. So yeah, that's where we would be at with it. Very cool. Should we name a snake?
We should name a snake. Let's get it.
All right, guys, I have never got to have one of these before to keep for myself. This is a visual anery. I keep saying visual anery Carompa female. Creme de la creme. I think there were doubters in the beginning, but by now I'm pretty sure everyone believes that and understands why Carompas are the king of super dwarfs. This thing is the size of those like hatchling dwarf and super dwarf crosses at 2 years old. And anerythristic is a genetic recessive mutation. We know this is anery, not just a silvery looking Carompa, because we have bred this bloodline into known aneries and made aneries. So this is a naturally occurring mutation. As far as I know, the only naturally occurring mutation that's this big, as far as populace in the wild. And so very cool, starting from a founding stock of just 4 animals that made it into like the breeding population of the United States, that there were enough of them that anerythrism popped out. So this is a really crazy snake. Like I said, many times the cost, and I probably still wouldn't sell her as a 2-year-old female as any of those animals. And it's because of like just how exclusive it is, how hard it is even for me to be able to make these or own one has been insane. And so I'm very excited about what it can do breeding wise in the future. So yeah, a lot riding on this little girl.
Put those suggestions in, guys.
So how does this work, Jeremy?
Well, they are going to put in a suggestion for this animal, and you're not allowed to look at the comments anymore because I'm going to look at them.
Okay.
Whatever you think this snake should be named, put it in the chat, and then I'll read it to Gary. He's going to pick one randomly, and you could name the latest named snake at Reach Out Reptiles.
This will be her name forever. So she's got like a chain-like pattern going down her neck. And one cool thing, Anery is classified as like a color mutation, and probably rightly so, but it actually thickens up and boldens the blacks and kind of cleans the pattern up a little bit. So that looks crazy on this wild occurring locality of retic, these Karampas. So very bold, very black. I'm just giving you guys some descriptive stuff you want to go after. It is a female, and hopefully, probably in 18 to 24 months, we should be getting eggs off of this snake. Believe it or not, that is a reticulated python that's about 18 months away from laying eggs. And if you don't believe it, you should watch the video where he did like ball python versus superdorf recently, because I weighed and measured 5 gravid ones of these, and we had a couple of our ball pythons out, a big ball python and then like a very, very young adult female.
All right, guys, last chance. I'm going to go through them. We have...
Let's hear it. Give me some good ones, guys. This is an awesome animal.
Azara, Creme de la Creme, Hi-Ho Silver, Queen Isabella, Heavy Whipping Cream, Silver Surfer, Galadriel, Samantha, Athena, Princess Leia, Quicksilver, Althea, Oracle, Tinsel, Tango, Khaleesi, Jada, Daenerys.
Ooh, there's some good ones in there. So honestly, my first impression would be Galadriel.
Ooh, okay.
Right? The wood elf. That's a pretty special,
Pretty good one.
fantastical, awesome name.
Yes.
But then they came up with Tinsel. I just think like 1950s Coca-Cola America. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The little silver things they'd put on the Christmas tree. Tinsel. And that's just like kind of a
Tinsel.
silly, cute name.
Yes.
No, I don't know, Jeremy.
Oh,
You
oh,
pick Galadriel or Tinsel.
Oh, you
out
can't
of those
do
two.
this.
Yeah, you got to do it this time.
Well, I know this is gonna.
Well, if you're biased, they will riot.
I'm going to say Tinsel because
Tinsel.
I like it's cute. I will say congratulations to Caleb Briles, but honorable mention to Let's Talk Herbs for Galadriel.
Oh, you were so close. All right. Man, so listen, guys, tonight we're about to jump on to our breeder tier only behind the scenes, and we have some corporate company guys to one of the coolest new companies in reptiles right now that are going to do some big things for the reptile future. We'll be talking about that publicly here soon enough, I'm sure, but if you want to meet them in person, well, if you're not already on breeder tier, it's full, right? We don't have any spaces. But if you are on breeder tier, don't miss this one. We'll see you guys right